In this video, I'll be showing you how Prateek plays Kasoor on his acoustic guitar. If you want to jam along with the original soundtrack, I guess you'll be needing an electric guitar because it is being played on electric guitar. Anyways, we'll start with our guitar on the standard tuning, and our capo will be on the 6th fret, right? And the intro sounds like this. So in order to play that, you'll be making the C shape, right, with your ring finger on the 3rd fret of your A string, middle finger 2nd fret of your D string, G string will be kept open, and your 1st finger on the 1st fret of your B string, right? And then you'll be plucking the A string, B string, and the G string, right, with your thumb, middle finger, and your 1st finger. So for your low E string, A string, and your D string, you'll be using your thumb, and for your high E string, B string, and your G string, you will be using your ring finger, middle finger, and your 1st finger, or your middle finger and your 1st finger. It's your choice. So we start with A string followed by B string and the G string. So it's right. After that, you'll be playing the 2nd fret of the D string, right, followed by a hammer-on the 3rd fret of the D string. So it's right, followed by your A string, B string, and your D string. So it's next, you play the 2nd fret of your D string, followed by A string and the B string. Right, so it's I'll be playing it slowly for you so that you can play along. So it's right. After you've played that, you will be moving to the 2nd shape, which is your middle finger on the 2nd fret of your A string and your 1st finger on the 1st fret of your B string, right? And you follow a similar plucking pattern. So that's A string, B string, G string, right, followed by your D string, open D string, and a hammer-on the 2nd fret this time. So it's right, followed by your A string, B string, and your D string, right, 2nd fret D string. So it's right. After that, you will be playing the open D string and 2nd fret of the D string. So right, so far we have learned right. After you've played that, you will be playing what you played for the 1st bar. So it's right, you play that after this shape. So it's right. After that, you go back to your 2nd shape again, right, and then you play instead of playing, you'll be playing, right? So it's in the second bar, what you played is, but in the fourth bar, you'll be playing. So that's basically your open G string, third fret of your B string, right? Followed by open G string and first fret of your B string. So it's right. So I'll be playing the intro slowly for you. So it sounds like this. Right, so you will be playing that twice before you move on to the verses. So the verses start with, right, the verse, I'll play the verse for you, then we'll move on to the lesson. So. Start with the C shape, right, and you'll be playing the third fret of your A string, right, and then you pause for one whole bar. Then you make the F shape, right, by placing your little finger on the third fret of the D string, middle finger on the second fret of your G string, right. And you'll be playing this. So that's your A string followed by your B, G, and your D, right? So it's followed by, which is basically your A string, your B string, your D string, and back to your A string. So it's right. So we will be using the same plucking pattern in the next verses also. So just keep that in mind, right? After you've played after you're done playing this bar, you move back to your C shape, right? And then you follow the same plucking pattern. So it starts like this, right? So you start with your B string, first fret B string, right? And then you follow the same plucking pattern for the F shape, right? So you follow the same plucking pattern that you used in the F shape. So it's you pluck the first fret of your B string followed by, so I'll be breaking that down for you. So it's first fret B string followed by A string, followed by B, G, and D, followed by your A string, B string, D string, and your A string. Right, so this bar sounds like this. Next, you place your ring finger on the third fret of your low E string, right? And then you'll be playing, right? So you start with your open B string, right? And then you follow the same plucking pattern again. So it's your E string right? You E string with your thumb, followed by B, G, and D, right? Right. When you play the D string this time, it's going to be a hammer-on on the 2nd fret. So it's right, followed by your E string, your B string, and the 2nd fret of your D string. Right, so it's followed by your open D string and 2nd fret of the D string. I'll be playing that slowly for you, so follow along. Right, so the first part of the verse sounds like this. Right, so you'll be playing this once again, but instead of just pausing on the first bar, right, after you've played the 3rd fret of your A string, and instead of just stopping there, you'll be playing the whole bar. So it sounds like this. Right, so it's the exact same thing that you played for the first part of the verse, but instead of just stopping on the 3rd fret of your A string, you'll be playing the whole thing. Right, so the first part of the verses are done. Now you move on to this shape. Right, so you bar your 5th fret with your 1st finger, right, starting from your A string, and you place your middle finger on the 7th fret of your D string and your middle finger on the 6th fret of your B string. So it's bar with the 1st finger on the 5th fret, ring finger 7th, and your middle finger 6th, and the G string will be played with the bar on the 5th, right? So, and then you follow the same plucking pattern as you did for the verses earlier. So it's, and breaking it down, it's A string, B string, G string, sorry, A string, B string, G string, D string, right? Followed by A string, B string, D string, and A string. So it's, I'll be playing that slowly. Right, after you've played that, you'll be moving on to this shape. Right, so that's a bar on the 3rd fret, right, with your 1st finger starting from the E string, and your ring finger on the 5th fret of the A string, and your middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string, right? And with you'll be playing the D string on the 3rd fret and also the B string on the 3rd fret, so with the bar. And you follow the same plucking pattern once again, so that's E string, right, followed by your B string, G string and the D string, right, followed by your E string, right, B string, D string, and A string. So altogether this section sounds like this. final part of this lesson. I will break down what I just played into 3 different sections to make it easier for you. So we'll start with the first section, which is alright, so in order to play that, we'll start with our C shape, right? And we will be playing the A string followed by your B and G, right? Next, you place your middle finger on the 2nd fret and you play A, B and G. So, right after you've played that, you'll be playing the A string, the B string, followed by D string and your G string, right? So it's right. Okay, so after that you will be making this shape over here, the A minor 7 shape, right? So open A string, 2nd fret D string, open G string, and 1st fret B string, right? And you will be following the plucking pattern which you used for the verses before. So that's right. So that's A string followed by your B, G, and D, followed by A string, B, D, and back to your A. So right, next you move to your F shape, right? For your thumb on the 1st fret of the low E string, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and your ring finger on the 3rd fret of your D string, and your G string will be open, right? And you'll be following the same plucking pattern once again. So you start with your 1st fret of the B string, right? And then you pluck the low E string, right? So that's your B string followed by your low E string, followed by B, G, and D, right? Followed by your E, B, D, back to your E. So after you've played that, you'll be placing your ring finger on the 3rd fret of your low E string, right? And you'll be playing, so that's B string followed by your low E string, right? After that you'll be playing your B string, G string, right? Then your 3rd fret of your E string, and you play the B string and then mute it instantly. So right, so altogether this section sounds like this. The second section is this. Right, so the first 3 bars remain same. It is similar with the first section, so that's right. After that you will be playing right, so that's your B string first, followed by, so that's what you've played in the intro, right? The first bar of the intro. So in the second section, instead of, you play, right? Third section sounds like this. So in this section, the first two bars are similar with the previous two sections. So it's right. So that's similar, and when you move to the F shape, right, you'll be starting with the B string, right? Right. So what you're doing here is you'll be playing the B string followed by your low E string, followed by your B string and open G string, followed by your low E string, yeah, third fret of your low E string, and open B string and open G string, right? So next you'll be playing the open D string and the open B strings. The open B string is optional, I guess, because when Prateek plays it, it's really subtle. It's barely audible. But anyways, it sounds like this, right? And then you go back to the intro. So that's right. The whole thing repeats, and after that, the second, I guess, second verse, it starts, and the whole thing is repeated. So I guess that brings us to the end of this lesson. If you have any doubts regarding any sections, you can leave them in the comments down below, and thanks for watching.